Hi, this is Amitabh Sen, singer-songwriter exclusively on Popp Dapp.
Growing up immersed in Indian classical training while gravitating towards global sounds, how do you consciously navigate the balance between tradition and modernity without letting either overpower your artistic voice?
You see, Indian classical was just the base training and voice culturing, but one can then choose to have their own style. Music has no barriers, and I never see any modern style or tradition as limiting you, but only as enablers. So my voice and my style becomes a little bit of everything that I hear and get inspired from.
Your formative years coincide with the golden era of Delhi's independent music scene. How did witnessing that ecosystem shape your understanding of originality, especially in contrast to today's algorithm driven global music landscape?
Yes, I fondly reminisce those days. What a time that was. Bands like Parikrama, Euphoria, Advaita, Indian Ocean, Dead Clones, just to name a few. Attending gigs, festivals such as GIR, everything was so inspiring. And with my Delhi band at that time, we were performing along with such great artists and bands who were so original with their music and act. And that kind of ecosystem really pushes you to do your best. We also had a great receptive audience, crowded venues, crowded festivals. So the audience actually came to check you out and to check out new bands, to hear original music. Now, of course, the game has fully changed. Most people want to check you out online. And today, this entire algorithm and the necessity to continuously feed into it at least stresses me out a bit and somewhere kills my creativity. But I am now definitely trying to adapt because that's the new reality. You need to play by the rules of the game. So let's see.
Having drawn inspiration from both South Asian acts and international bands, where do you think Indian indie music currently stands on the global stage? And what does it still need to truly break through internationally?
You see, Indian music as such has kind of always been on the global stage. I don't think we need to separately define what is Indian indie and what is not. But generally, we don't need to sound like anybody. For me personally, I would like to stick to my roots, my language. Whether there is any breakthrough or not is not my game.
With Element 21 and later the Overseas project, collaboration played a key role in your journey. As a solo artist now, how has your creative process evolved in terms of decision making, vulnerability, and sonic risk taking?
I think being in bands really taught me team playing, collaboration, different styles of music, different approaches to songwriting, and I learned a great deal of music from all of my band members. So that's a solid foundation. Today, I can afford to be a solo artist because of all that experience and learning. But yes, I can take more risks today, and of course, decision making is fast. I still have a great, circle of musician friends and a great ecosystem, so I do not feel vulnerable at all.
Bawarey has lived with you for nearly a decade before finding its final form. What changed within you as an artist and individual that finally allowed the song to feel complete?
Yes, I have been performing Bawarey live for a decade now. There have been so many versions of Bawarey with different sets of musicians, but nothing really sounded enough to deliver the emotions behind the song. Very hard to describe it. Anyway, last year I was invited to perform at the Bee Music Festival. So the mountains and the monasteries there somehow inspired me to do the song or complete the song. I was really moved by the stillness, and it took me back to a moment of how I felt when I had actually written the song. So then everything weirdly came together. Krishna, my friend and an amazing guitarist, had traveled with me to perform at Beer. So he came on board to play guitars on the song. And the production was shaped in collaboration with Hasib Reza, my long time creative partner. He was, in fact, the happiest to finally being able to have the 100th version of the song and produce it.
The theme of Bawarey touches on the universal human tendency to seek fulfillment externally. Do you think music today still has the power to provoke introspection in a fast consumption, distraction heavy global culture?
Music is a very powerful thing. Even today, songs move people to tears, drive a revolution, inspire. In fact, you see how even old songs and melodies are resurfacing. Music is not losing its value, and I have ultimate faith in that. But at least when I'm making songs, I'm not worried about how I'm going to inspire or catch attention. The day I do that, I'm finished as a musician. My songs come out as a result of my inspiration and emotions and not someone else's. What good is a song if it makes me famous, but I feel horrible every time I listen to it or have to perform it? So my songs have been mostly on my own experiences of life. Like Umeed is on hope, and that's when I needed hope in life. Tere Desh Mein was composed when 2611 happened, and I felt strongly about wars and violence. Piya Ki Nazariya was when I found love. Sawan was inspired from my experience of the rainy season in the Western Ghats, where I've lived and extensively traveled. Banjare was introspection on trying to keep track of what I really want from life. And finally, we have Bawarey on looking inward when nothing material gave me happiness.
From performing at grassroots festivals to having your music featured on major platforms, how do you define success in an era where virality often overshadows artistic depth?
Not just virality, you talk about any era, fame and artistic depth are two different things. So many artists with the depth of an ocean die out without any fame. Fame can be a result of so many combinations of factors all put together. So for me, there's a creative success and then there's a commercial success of a song. What drives me is the creative success, which is a function of my internal and own satisfaction with a song. While I may strive for commercial success, but I am very detached from it. The fact that my song, for example, was played on MTV and later by Sony is a commercial success and is a fact to be proud of. But if that did not happen, I would still be making music with as much vigor.
As someone blending indie pop with elements of folk and classical reinterpretation, what does the future of genre looks like to you? And do you see yourself moving towards a more global sonic identity or a steeper return to its roots?
While my core sound lies in indie pop rock, I do wish to now experiment with folk and fusion elements. I do that more often when I am performing live. I love performing folk along with my originals live. But now slowly, I will also try to publish Indian folk fusion songs with my own interpretation, of course. For example, take Piya Ki Nazariya, where I have done a contemporary interpretation to the famous classical Thumri while retaining only the chorus and adding my own lyrics around to create completely new verses. So I would naturally remain global with my indie pop rock identity, but with definite hints of my roots.